Hello, I'm Brad Sherman from America's best named city, Sherman Oaks, and I represent the San Fernando Valley and the Pacific Palisades. I first want to acknowledge two disasters that are on our minds right now. The first are the terrible floods that afflicted Texas, and the second is the man-made disaster occurring right now in MacArthur Park. Governor, thank you so much for all you've done, starting by pre-positioning firefighting resources in Southern California before the first spark. I want to thank the Biden administration for funding FEMA and SBA back in December so that it would have the resources necessary to deal with whatever afflicted us in 2025. And as a result of that and Biden declaring this a federal disaster area, the federal government has been able to do a fair amount. 11,000 loans totaling $3 billion at roughly 3% interest. 35,000 households receiving assistance grants totaling $150 million. $2.5 billion for debris removal, so that at least is a cost that homeowners do not have to face. And $7 billion to reimburse state and local government for firefighting and to rebuild public infrastructure. But frankly, that isn't enough to deal with the uninsured, particular businesses, but particularly homeowners. And that is why we have got to do far more. Now, President Trump came to the Palisades just hours, days after the fires. And I thought he would come out to applaud and thank FEMA, the workers who were doing 12, 15-hour shifts. Instead, he proposed abolishing FEMA, a bad idea. And then he put forward the idea that we would hold hostage the victims of the LA fires until California changed unrelated laws. Never has that happened in history, and never would Alex or Judy and I think of voting against hurricane aid because we didn't like the Louisiana abortion laws, though of course we would very much hope that those laws would change. So the basic package, which is provided for in law, is always supplemented when you have a major disaster. And AccuWeather values this disaster in terms of its economic cost at $250 billion, making it one of the largest disasters, perhaps the largest disaster in American history, certainly the largest fire disaster in American history. Yet individual homeowners are eligible to get grants of $87,000. That's good. But if you're uninsured or underinsured, it's certainly not enough to rebuild. That is why Alex and Judy and I and the entire delegation support the governor's $40 billion package, and we've got to get it passed, perhaps as a supplemental that also includes the Texas disaster and other disasters that we have faced. And I couldn't have, I do want to point out that we can assure the country that we're going to build back better. The new building in the Palisades will be subject to the 2008 State Fire Code. That code was so successful in the Paradise Fire that the structures there, majority of them survived if they met that code. But of course, the code didn't apply to buildings built before that date. So we are going to rebuild. We are going to have great communities in Altadena and the Pacific Palisades, and we're going to build back better. And we're going to get the federal aid that California is entitled to, given the size of this disaster. And I couldn't have better allies and partners in fighting for that aid than Senator Padilla and Congresswoman Judy Chu. And the governor couldn't have a better partner than first partner Jennifer Seibel Newsom. Please come on.